Well, we've been kind of sort of toying away from announcing anything sort of specifically. Mainly we're trying to give more detail about the standalone game for DayZ, because all we really announced the other week was that it was going standalone. So I guess a couple of things we've been telling people is that it's coming out the end of this year. Our key focus is on fixing the bugs and hacking issues associated with DayZ. So really we want to take DayZ the mod, tidy it up, polish it up, and produce it as a standalone, and then pack in enough features and content that people are happy to pay a small upgrade price to do that. The big thing is that it means that I can sort of relax a bit in terms of the development. Like, I've found someone to partner with who thinks the same as I do about how we want to approach development, and it means that I can actually focus on fixing the bugs where they should be. So the mod has been doing a lot of hacks on top of hacks to try and get Arma 2 to do things that it was never intended to do. Now we can actually go back and say, how do we want zombies to behave? How do we want pathfinding to be done? How do we want the medical system to be done, and actually do it in the source? Well, the mod is waiting for the 1.73 update. We were going to start introducing dogs and experimenting with that. And I think the mod is really struggling because it's using Arma way beyond the edge of its limits of what it can do. It's kind of a credit to the engine that that's even possible. But it's a very trusting engine, so we have a lot of problem with hacking and exploiting and duping and things like that. And a lot of people have a lot of suggestions and ideas, but I think at the end of the day we have to solve those in the source. It's kind of like whether you treat the symptom or you treat the source. We're going to treat the actual problems directly in there. Well, we've got a serious graphical glitch, which is quite hard to track down. So we're trying to fix that. That's probably partially a data issue and partially a recent update to the Arma 2 game issue. We've got our problems with duplicating of items. Which is to do with how loot works and stuff like that. Then we've another very serious problem is how susceptible and easy it is to hack the engine, because it's very trusting, so you can load in new data, new scripts, stuff like that very easily. So that has to be fixed in the way we approach the standalone, and that's, I guess, one of the key focuses we've got. Optimization's obviously very important to us as well. The more we can optimize DayZ, because it's kind of doing less than Arma really, then that means we can add more players. So we're sort of targeting 100 to 200 players per server, and we can easily achieve that with some optimization. Maybe the DayZ became a bit of a phenomenon and fueled on itself. I think social media has always played a massive part of it. I think 4chan played a very significant role in DayZ being given birth. And then you have sites like Reddit and that really recently have really started to take on things like all the user content that comes out. So you have things like YouTube videos and all those kinds of things that have become almost a phenomenon in themselves. Like, I've seen some of them recently, and they're just absolutely hilarious and really clever. There's all the DayZ in real life stuff as well. So all that has come together to really, I guess, virally market the DayZ, and then people want to try it out for themselves.
Would you wait to the other products on the market that are trying to create another sort of DayZ experience? I can't remember off the top of my head, but there is one game under development. I think it's a Kickstarter project, which is very much the same sort of...
Yeah, well, you have the Dead Linger, which is a Kickstarter project, but that's been around in development for a lot longer than DayZ. You have Project Zomboid, which is a more single player, well, not more, it is a single player experience, and I guess we were very careful not to try and emulate those things. I think that the reason I like DayZ's approach is because it's using an established engine and it's using the best parts of that engine. So Arma has a real grittiness to it, and that grittiness is what makes DayZ DayZ. If you take that grittiness out, it's just a bunch of mechanics that are kind of weird, and a lot of things just don't gel. So I think that we're in quite a lucky position, because we can go out with the alpha at a very, very low price point, which means it's very difficult to compete, with quite an impressive feature set, with also the experience of the mod, and we had 1 million alpha testers, so we've got a heck of a lot of data, and I guess we've got that jump start. So it's really on to us as Bohemia and the DayZ development team to make this work. It's ours to lose, really.
So So does this now mean that development's going to speed up tenfold?
Absolutely.
And then, so what can people expect in the next few months? Have you got an idea?
Well, like I say, the real key focus and the only real promise I like to make is that we are looking at the bugs and the hacking. That's priority one. Once we've done that, a lot of our content is ready to go into the standalone, and once we've done that, we're kind of ready basically to release the alpha. If we get that done early, then that means we can spend more time on pumping in features. You know, there's a couple of features I'm quite passionate about. I've already mentioned subterranean, underground structures and construction is something I'm very passionate about. But that's kind of a second stage thing that we'd look at, say, next year or that once we've got the alpha out. But in the more shorter term, I think some kind of simplified ragdoll is, those kinds of simpler things are really important to give DayZ a bit of a round out. So we want to fix the bugs, deal with as much of the hacking issues as we can, and then release it really polished. And if we do that, then I think we've got a good leg to stand on there. Yeah, so within basically a few days, so maybe a week after Gamescom, we want to have the 1.7.3 patch out with dogs in, and the standalone we want to have by the end of the year.